Morning, familia. Trying to find a little parking spot here. I am waiting for someone so I can go see an apartment. And I just wanted to share and come on here because this is it. This is the reality of living and applying and surrendering. This is what surrender looks like. This guy called me out of nowhere about an apartment. I really have not been feeling to go to an apartment. There's been like this guidance to find an outside space, an area, a backyard area, so I can serve from that space, whether it's private people or have a small group for circles, and that's something I would really like to do. And yet so much is up in the air, like where my daughter's going to go to school next year, so not even knowing if I'll stay here because there's a possibility of me moving to closer to my mom's, and just a lot of things up in the air. And so I'm just coming on here and surrendering. And it inspires me to talk about God's will and our will, because I was listening to a song by Forrest Frank, which is so awesome. Maybe I'll put it on at the end so we can jam together. And in the end, it's like love's will. Like we have this idea of what's for us, and we could very well, depending on where we are in our journey, be very connected and opening up more and listening to more guidance and following that. But I definitely still have that like part in me who's like, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing, and that in itself is a pattern of me doubting my ability to make a choice, and somehow believing that if I make one choice or the other, that I will, that I can make a wrong choice, that's a possibility, that any choice is an actual possible wrong choice. That is a belief. And therefore that somehow, if something is wrong or right, then there's somehow something that's, can potentially punish me or get back at me, because that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of making the wrong choice because I'm afraid of what the consequence will be. Isn't that interesting? And we learn that being with our parents, growing up, schooling. There's a right choice and there's a wrong choice. And yet they're all egoic based when we don't have the understanding that all things are for you. And yes, God is not here to judge your choices. Your choices are yours. And yet, no matter what you choose, it can always work for you. God can always use the Spirit, right? That part in our mind, that voice for God that connects us with that mind of love that we come from. The Spirit can always use anything, because it will meet you where you are. It already knows what you're going to choose. It already knows what you're ready for. It knows what you're afraid of. It's meeting you within the whole video game. It's meeting you within this whole school of learning and human experience and dream world that we've conjured up to then ultimately wake up from it, learn the lessons we need to realize it was a dream, and that our reality, 444 as I say that, and that our reality is in the mind of God, that our will is God's will, that our will is love's will, and that love will always give you what is for you, and you will choose from that. And as you open yourself up more to love, there will be egoic backlash, as we would call it. There will be resistance, which is the backlash, are the doubt thoughts, are the stay safe, don't expand, don't become light, don't realize who you are, stay here, because that's what it feeds on, and it's all illusion. And so as we expand, the test becomes bigger, right? But it's really just an invitation to more expansion, to more trust, to deeper alignment and devotion to that connection to spirit, to that divine voice guiding your life, to discernment, to guidance. That is the call. And the call of that discernment is basically God's will is my will. And therefore I don't know. I don't know what is best for me. I don't know what anything is for. That is a beautiful and powerful lesson in the Course in Miracles. And Jesus is teaching us, you don't know what anything is for. That is, you don't know yourself. Literally, that's why you're here. That's why this is all an experience for you, And so it's like you've believed your five senses for too long. You've believed that this is who you are for too long. Doesn't matter how many lifetimes and how many things you're going through, you will stay in the lifetime wheel if you do not wake up, if you do not find out who you truly are. And to do that, you must expand. And to do that, you must forgive. And to do that, you must be willing to learn, to see things in a different way. You must truly, truly want, after hitting yourself against a wall with whatever experiences, whatever situations, however many years of trying the same thing again and again in different forms, in different bodies, in different places, in different homes, in different cities, and the list goes on, in different jobs. After knocking on all the doors and realizing that none of them are actually fulfilling what you know is an internal longing, a call for true peace, for true love, not romantic love. That is just a symbol of what love can bring into your life, but that is not love. Love is a state, right? Love is a way of being, just like peace. Peace is a state. Happiness, true happiness, not the egoic happiness. True happiness is a state of being. And all of those things come from God's will. And all of those things come from us being willing to accept what is, to be neutral, to say, I don't know what this is for, and to go deeper, right? Like that's the call, to go deeper. I don't know what this is for. You shine the light. You show me. I'll follow. I'll be in tune with my integrity. I'll be in tune with my intuition, when something's calling me to say no or say yes, when something feels exciting and opening and expansive, or does it feel closing and limiting, start becoming in touch with that so that I can take the best next steps, because that's the language of the spirit. And so, it's just a call to deeper trust in God's will, in love's will, which in essence, the whole journey is to figure out that will is our will. The Course in Miracles is teaching us, Jesus is saying, your will is God's will. But while you think it isn't, you're here and you suffer. More than anything, you suffer. You live in your own world of suffering. You've created this whole world of separation, of doubt, of discomfort, right? Of violence, of war, of attack, of defense. And yet none of that is who you are, because none of that is what God is. That is not what love is. Every time I say God, if that somehow sparks a little uncomfortable, thing for you, replace it with love, because they're one and the same. And notice how you would never agree with that. If I said, Like, God is none of that. Love is none of that. Yes, love is none of that. And if we come from love, then we are none of that. So what is the part of us that is making us believe that we are that? Let's question that. And we can only question that by having humility, by surrendering, by looking back, taking a step back. Instead of saying, I know what I need, I can be in control of this, I can make this happen, I know what's best for me and my daughter and how I'll be most helpful in the world. I don't. I can have an idea because I've been on the path and I know it's unfolding for me, and I get signs and I'm paying attention and I'm open. I'm paying attention and I'm open. And yet the call is always to step back and to go in deeper humility and to go in deeper surrender and let God lead the way. Let love lead the way, because that way is our way. And yet we're fighting it in every instance, right? We're resisting things people, things people say, what we think others want for us, plans that life may be unfolding in front of us. Like, yeah, my mom's like, you could come move here. There's a school here. It's tuition free and it's Montessori based, and it could be wonderful for Ari. You can come and I'm like, okay, maybe. I don't see myself leaving Miami, but I don't know. And if I really want to live a life of freedom, if I really want to live a life led by the Spirit of love, of expansion, of waking up to who I truly am and bless the world with that light in whatever capacity I can, not to make myself more special, but to be of usefulness while I'm here and to help people in the same way people have helped me on this journey, and even maybe in ways that my journey has shown me that, I could have used help in certain aspects and I didn't have that help. And yet I trusted, and yet I went deeper, and so here I am, right? So I can trust. Come back into trust. Come back into what love wants for me. Because I want for me what love wants for me. I want for me what God wants for me. And that's peace. That's rest. That's truth. And that's eternal love. Consistent, restful, non-judgmental love. And so I come forward, I'm going to go to this appointment, and I'm going to come in a non-judgmental way. I'm going to see it, I'm going to receive it, and I'm going to remain neutral. And the ones I've seen yesterday and before yesterday, which were also very promising, felt good, felt at peace. And yet there's been so much back and forth because of, situations and, terms and legalities and things like that. That's just like, what? There we go. This is you. You show me. I have a couple of nice options, and yet I am putting this into the deepest prayer of my heart. That your will be my will here. And at the same time, I can choose from a place knowing that I am held, I am supported, and I am taken care of. And so I can go with my highest excitement. I can go with my sense of rest and peace. I can go with a clear sign, whatever options arise for me, so that I can take the next step. But I am willing to go deeper in this, and I'm sharing it with you because sometimes we think, and the church has led us to think, that our will is different from God's will, and it's truly one and the same. We've just forgotten. Yeah, we've just forgotten. And so all these situations, life things that are coming up for us are opportunities for us to remember that. to let go a little more, to release a little more, to surrender a little deeper, so that Spirit can come in, so that Jesus can lead the way if he is a way shower for you, so that God can shine the light of truth using whatever forms we have here, which are temporary forms, illusory forms. They are not God, they are not us, and yet we believe in it. So we use it to heal our mind, to go deeper, to become closer with the Spirit, to become free. That is the free will. The free will, God's will, is free. And so are we. We are free because we come of that free will, of that love. Period. And so, let's know going into the next quote unquote big decision that we are free. We are free. None of this. There's no loss here, right? Like, oh no, I gotta sign this thing because if not, I'm gonna lose it. No, what's for you is for you and will always be for you, and no one can take it away from you. And what isn't for you, I think we've all heard this, isn't for you, and it'll be also, there's nothing that you can make happen so that it becomes for you. So let's rest in knowing that. That is God's will. What's for you is for you, and what isn't, isn't. You take the steps. You trust yourself. You rest in him. You rest in love. And let everything else take its place. Let everything else unfold. And gratitude is the place to just rest. Whatever you have for me, I am grateful for. I'm paying attention. Thank you for this blessing, for this opportunity to heal, for the encounters I may make on the way. Thank you. May I shine your light wherever I go. Amen.